Today is March 17, 2015, and the Ghetto Free Press is in the little town of Gordon, Georgia. As you know, this is home of the newly elected black mayor, Mayor Whipple-Lue, and much controversy has arisen since she became mayor of this little small town. I was called in January of last year to cover this little small town city council meetings because I had already been to Quitman, Georgia, Meigs, Georgia, Dawson, Georgia, Lumpkin, Georgia, and seen the irregularities or mistreatment of the newly elected black mayors. And so I came to get the rest of the story. Today, as I look at the polling place here in Gordon, I noticed that it seems as if though the Secretary of State just under Brian P. Kemp may have changed the law. There was a time when citizens would be forewarned, number one, that this was a polling but I do not see any signs posting how far back a candidate can campaign. And as a former polling manager of one of the largest polling stations in Valdosta, Georgia, that was a requirement. Once again, this is Gordon, Georgia. Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm George Boss Rams. I'm in Gordon, Georgia, voting precinct. Once again, I entered into this facility and I was told that I could not record inside of the polling station. And I have recorded before inside of the polling station. But once again, there's a great possibility that the laws have been changed. We will call the Secretary of State's office and we will find out what the law is.
And Mr. Secretary and Board, I'm privileged to be able to speak before you today. I just want to tell you my version, and I appreciate the letter of instruction, but my version was just a little different. Says during the early voting period of the 2012 primary election, I was approached by an individual named Dora Candy. I've known Miss Candy since she was in high school. While conversing with her, she requested a ride to the courthouse so she could vote, and I was happy to assist. In addition to serving as the polling place for Precinct 4, the Long County Courthouse is home to almost all governmental functions in Long County. These include the Board of Elections, Registration, Planning and Zoning, State Court, Probate Court, Magistrate Court, Superior Court, Licensing, Land, Records, and the Board of Commissioners. Excuse me. The courthouse is also within 150 feet and shares the same parking lot with the Sheriff's Office, the Tax Assessor's Office, and the Tax Commissioner's Office. Additionally, within 150 feet is the Office of the Board of Education, of which I'm a member. At no time during the drive from Miss Candy's apartment complex to the courthouse did the two of us discuss anything regarding the election. When we arrived at the courthouse, Miss Candy went inside and I waited in my truck. However, it was a hot day, and I soon became concerned that my truck would overheat. I turned my truck off and went inside in the lobby of the courthouse. At no time did I enter the actual polling place where the machines were set up and the business of the election was being conducted. Within minutes of entering the courthouse, I was approached by Vanessa Cunningham, the election superintendent, and she informed me I was breaking the law and I had to leave. I immediately left. From the time I left my truck until approached by Ms. Cunningham, only 2 or 3 minutes had elapsed. At no time while in the courthouse did I discuss the election or my candidacy with any individual. I knew then it was not permissible for anyone, including candidates, to campaign within 150 feet of the outer edge of a building containing a polling place. I ran in my first election in 1992 and the same law was in place then. It was not and is not my interpretation that the mere physical presence of a candidate constitutes a violation. But if my actions and our interpretations are in error, I certainly want to apologize. It has not been my intent to violate the law or be perceived as doing so. My sole purpose for being at the Long County Courthouse that day was to assist a friend and get out of the South Georgia heat.
Well, thank you, Ms. Watford. Any questions?
The courthouse is also within 150 feet. The courthouse is also within 150 feet. The courthouse is also within 150 feet and shares the same parking lot with the sheriff's office, the tax assessor's office, and the tax commissioner's office.
Once again, because it's all about you having the right to know under our form of government, the Ghetto Free Press. We report what others ignore. After talking to the local poll manager, I asked could I record inside, and they said no, and that there's a sign up saying that I cannot record. This door was closed, and so if I was a candidate, I could have come out here not knowing the law and had signs or campaigning. I would not know that I could not campaign within 150 feet of the outer edge of any building within which a polling place is established. From this door, the only sign saying no campaigning, just a few feet away, you could not see that sign. And I was a former poll manager, and we actually had to put physical signs out to let people know where the safe distance were in accordance with the law. But I don't see any signs out here, and it seems as if on the way that the citizens to know. Office a meeting the other last week. This same issue came up because I think that's I believe somebody's going to us, or they'll call the Secretary of State's office and find out what the law is. Once again, the Ghetto Free Press, doing what we do because you have a right to know.
We are ready to begin the next, the council meeting regularly for March 16, 2015. And let us bow our heads with a word of prayer. I our Heavenly Father, we give you thanks, honor, and praise for this most beautiful day that you've made in the city. And Lord God, we ask that you continue to be with us and bless us as we conduct the city business and be about your business of getting the business done for the city. And we ask that you would strengthen us and guide us and lead our minds and our hearts to make the right decisions about the business, and that we can complete this and give you the glory, honor, and praise. For it's in your Son Jesus' name, and we all say amen. Amen. Let us stand. Pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And once more again, I'd like to say you're welcome to your council meeting. And we'll proceed and move forward with the minutes on schedule, with the approval. We have here our February 2nd, 25th meeting, and you have presented that Clerk Brown has presented to us, and we know she's been unavailable due to her illness, and she's now back. So,
I'll make a motion that we adopt the minutes of February the 2nd as presented.
I second
motion has been made and second. Is there any discussion? I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion, is there any discussion about the minutes? Do you have any? That being said, motion carries and the February 2nd minutes are adopted. All right. We have February 2nd. Now we'll move on to February 5th.
a motion that we approve the, February 5th minutes.
I second the motion.
Motion has been made and second. Is there any discussion about the February 5th meeting? If not, let me hear you by word of aye.
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 All right, the ayes have it. Minutes adopted. Now we have the February 16th, 2015 adoption of the minutes.
I offer a motion that we, adopt those minutes too. And, before we adopt them, we got the summary too.
Right.
But I make a motion that we adopt the ones that says the city of Gordon Councilman, not the one that say the, summaries, but the minutes.
The verbatim minutes.
Motion has been made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Is there any discussion regarding those?
Yes, ma'am. Those are still summary minutes, and they're basically just to be handed out so that people can read those minutes up until we do get the official minutes in our hands.
Councilman Edie,
Yes, ma'am.
we do have the official, both of them. We have a copy of both of them.
We do, yes, ma'am.
And so that's why I said not the summary, but the, official minutes.
The official minutes, the long minutes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, well, we were talking about two different sets. I agree with the, official minutes, yes, ma'am.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? No further discussion? Let me hear by a word of aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving right along to March 2nd, 2015. We have the summary as well as the verbatim minutes of March 2nd. So it's the same as February 16th.
I make a motion that we adopt those minutes, yes, ma'am.
I second it.
Councilman, I believe, Smallwood.
Okay.
To adopt the regular minutes, not, I mean the verbatim minutes?
Verbatim.
Okay.
Motion has been made and second to adopt the verbatim discussion.
On page 3, it's just that, I said, page 3, paragraph 5. I said, and she states that she thought the city was going to use Georgia Rural Water. At that time, Georgia Rural Water did come up under that, but it was Middle Georgia, I said Middle Georgia, Commission. Middle Georgia Reese, that we had asked for their help. That was,
Which one is that, I'm looking at?
She's writing down.
Where is she?
You talking about the last paragraph?
right here. The last paragraph.
Well, y'all have to have, because I didn't do these minutes.
I know, it's just that one word.
Where is it, which line is that under that paragraph? 1, 2, 3, 4. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what did you say?
I said I thought the city was gonna use the, Middle Georgia, which is a commission to help us.
Okay, rather Georgia Rural Water.
Yeah, Georgia Rural Water is doing it, but I think it's sort of through Middle Georgia, Regional Commission.
And that's the only one that you,
I agree to that change.
And on page 8, the 4th paragraph, when Council Edie stated that, we was talking about Mr. Holland, not Mr., what is his name?
oh, yeah.
Yeah, we was talking about Mr. Holland then, we weren't talking about Mr. Booker. When we were saying that,
Okay,
Councilman Edie, about the money, $11,000, we was talking about that, what was given to us on the contract with Mr.
John
Holland, yeah,
That's true.
okay.
Change that to Mr. John Holland. I agree to that change.
In other words, who's never did these minutes was really good.
pardon? I hear some.
Not that who's never did these minutes, type these minutes, they did a good job.
Miss Hallman, Heather Hallman, she's been doing a good job of filling in. With everything that's going on, you know, something else, any further discussion? No further discussion. Let's hear by the word aye.
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 Aye. The ayes have it, motion is carried. moving right along to, excuse me, mayor's notes. Just want to remind you all that voting will take place tomorrow, and from 7, the polls open at 7,
Yes, ma'am.
7 to 7, and close at 7 p.m. So we ask that you would do your civic duties, going out to give the candidate of your choice your vote. The next item I have is to remind us that with the, we had discussed at the last meeting with the water situation that Mr. Holland signed off for the month of February. And we know that Mr. Lawrence went, as he said to me, to present himself for the examination that, for the water, to sign off on the water. And Mr. Lawrence, are you available? Just wanted to say that he's available, and he and I will be meeting tomorrow with EPD and to discuss continuation of what we're going to do about our water situation. And we're gonna keep you all posted, especially council, as to let you all be aware. Is there anything you want to discuss regarding that, Mr. Lawrence?
No, ma'am, not until we meet with Ms. Thomas.
Okay, and we'll go with that. All right. No. Council, we'll move right along to the old business, and we know we've had Malden and Jenkins CPA with Mr. Miller Edwards come and present to us regarding the audit. And I have the information here, as I stated, that previously they granted us an extension, and we need to be on the move with this. And I have Malden and Jenkins as the audit quality. And if any of you care to look at all of this information, I'd be more than happy to share it with you all from the Auditing Governmental Audit Quality Center. It tells what's expected of this audit. So we need to go ahead, because we have, time is of the essence, and it's on the clock, and it's ticking. So I've offered Malden and Jenkins, and I think you all were very pleased with him, with that firm. So I'd like to entertain a motion that Malden and Jenkins CPA be available, allowed to do the audit.
Could I ask you a question before we, make any kind of a motion?
Yes.
The presentation that Mr. Clifton and then made with Clifton, Lipwood, Hardison, I think Mr. Hardison actually made the presentation. He recommended that they come in first before any auditor does, because he had so much stuff that he was gonna have to put together for a regular audit to have in place before a year-end audit could, take place. So I thought we were gonna be talking about, his contract first, to do that work. And Mr. Edwards did not say that he would be doing that type of work, so I may be misinformed, but I was understanding Mr. Hardison and them to say that they needed to put something together first, so that somebody else would be able to do the year-end audit.
And I hear what you're saying,
Yes, ma'am.
and I totally agree. However, the audit is first, and given this information, because I submitted it to all three, as a matter of fact, I presented all three gentlemen with their, and spoke with them, and Clifton, Lipton, Hardison, and Parker has made it known to me that they want to do the the accounting, and Malden and Jenkins said that they would do the audit.
But he said that night, best I understand, he would not give a bid on it.
Right, no one has given a bid.
Okay.
So my thing of it is, as far as the bids, and he made it straight, yes, he did agree that there would not be a bid. So with that being said, no one is offered to give a bid. And I've contacted each one of them that the Regional Commission has given. I've even given you all a list and asked if you all had any questions to feel free to contact them.
Yeah.
And so, with that being said, the ones that I contacted were not interested. They were busy at the moment. And so these are the ones that left open, and so they come highly recommended, and so it's up to you all, council.
The attorney approved that contract that you have with Mr. Baldwin and Jenkins, you know, before we can vote on it?
Well, there's not been a contract, anything what we can do. They said they have no problem with the engagement letter. We just need to get them approved, and then they'll provide the engagement letter. There's no problem.
Usually the other way around,
You have them first before you get an engagement letter.
And I did see what he wrote up, but I mean, it didn't give me anything to go on. I mean, I didn't know if it was gonna cost 30,000, 40,000. He didn't ever say any kind of ballpark figure.
Well, I think he stood here and gave us a figure, as he said, he did not like, he didn't feel comfortable because he didn't know what it is it's going to services, and that's with any of them. I pretty much listened to them, and no one can really give a concrete, clear, concise figure as to how much. I really don't think it's going to be a forensic audit, but a regular audit, and this is, if you need to know, this is clearly on the website as to what they're expecting. So with them and him being a part of the auditing firm and with the state government, I think he knows what it is expected and has been able to look at, because he's pulled up the figures by way of the website and know how much we have allocated of what's on hand. So, council, without any further, we need to go ahead and make a decision. You all do. So I presented Malden and Jenkins, recommended them as the auditor.
The year-end audit.
Yes. So do I have a motion? And I'm waiting.
Would you contact him and ask him to send a letter of engagement first, and then I'd feel more comfortable about it myself?
Is that what you all want to do, council? I mean, clearly it's up to you all. I can only make the recommendation. After they engage,
I think we should just go ahead and see if we can get a letter of engagement, you know, make everybody feel a little better about it. I agree.
Motion has been made. Do I have a second to get a letter of engagement?
Sorry?
Any further discussion?
What is the motion made?
Motion has been made and second. No further discussion. Let's hear by the ayes.
Who made the motion, may I ask? I just asked a question, I didn't make a motion.
I thought I heard Mr. Yes,
Present
make
it
the
as
motion.
a motion.
Okay.
Pardon.
I'll go ahead and present that as a motion.
Oh, okay, I thought this was carried. And the second by Councilman Smallwood. Okay. Motion is made and is second to receive a letter of engagement from Malden and Jenkins. Roll call.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Clifton, Lipton, Hardison, and Parker as the accountants. Do I have hear a motion?
I would make a motion that we adopt the contract that he presented to us after the attorney reviewed it.
Second?
Let me say along with that. Now, the same, we would have to have a letter of engagement along with that too. So, if we what goes for one needs to go for the second.
I'll ask for a letter of engagement also.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion?
So, they did leave, Mr. Hardison, when he was here, he did leave a contract.
I haven't, I have this information, I don't have a contract. And I have this. I did not receive a contract.
You have this one,
This is just the,
that's
no,
the proposal.
this
That's
is,
what
right.
I would call a contract
This
proposal.
is, no, there's a difference between a proposal and a contract. We'll have to have, like I said, an engagement letter.
I made that part of my motion
Right.
also.
Any further discussion?
Just so that both of them be treated the same. Both of them have a letter, I mean, engagement.
That's what Councilman. All right. Motion has been made and second. Do I hear, let's hear roll call.
Aye.
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 The ayes have it. And, just want to let you know that we have the, letter, for the visa, the information. So I'm waiting to, get it to the bank at Magnolia. Just wanted to let you all know that that's forthcoming. All right, moving right along to D, item D. G.B. and Turnip Seed Engineers, Mr. Chris Pouget. So being with our water situation, we know that time is of the essence. The engineer that I have recommended, and he came and presented, and I think you all were pretty much receptive of him, and I have the letter here. Says that, attention, Mayor Whipple-Lue, City of Gordon Water System Improvements. We appreciate the opportunity to provide our proposal for preparing a comprehensive water system study for the City of Gordon. We propose to assist the City of Gordon with a study of the water system, which will include an assessment of the city's wells, distribution center, and storage tank. The scope of services we propose to provide for the City of Gordon is as follows. Meet with the city officials and staff to obtain data on the existing system, including water use records, water production records, maintenance history, and details on the existing wells and the distribution system. Provide population, customer, and water demand projections for the next 20 years. Provide recommendations for improving the water system, constructing improvements to the existing system, and reducing the amount of unaccounted for non-revenue water in the system. Provide a detailed project cost estimate for the recommended improvements. Discuss possible funding alternatives for the project or parts of the project, including USDA rural development loans and grants and community development block grants. Provide recommendations for improved operations and maintenance of the water system. Provide a possible implementation schedule for the recommended improvements. And provide the City of Gordon with 8 copies of the final report, including maps of the existing distribution system. And he said we estimate the preliminary engineering project and environmental report can be completed within 3 to 4 months after authorization is received from the city. So if authorized, we will coordinate with USDA Rural Development to obtain for the city grant of $25,000 to complete these reports. Our fee will be invoiced after completion of the study and is eligible to be paid in full with the grant funds. Wow. Funding applications prepared for the city after this report is complete can be prepared at no cost to the city. If acceptable, please sign and date below and return a copy of this proposal to our office. We appreciate the opportunity to work with the city of Gordon. We are also including a copy of our introduction and statement of qualifications, so you all should have all of that. So if you have any questions or need additional information, say please call him. That's yours truly, G.B.R Turnip Seed Engineers Inc. with Christopher B. Poget, Vice President. So this is a letter of authorization to proceed. And they've offered us their services that it will not be a cost to the city. And he has stated that they are working with the city of Irwinton. So ladies and gentlemen, you've heard our recommendation.
I would like to see us enter into a contract with the same stipulations if he turns in a letter of engagement that would be presented to our attorneys for approval first. I'll make that as a motion.
Motion has been made. Do I have a second? Any discussion? No discussion? Let's hear roll call.
Aye.
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 The ayes have it. And then exit out. And if you look at, we'll move forward to new business. No, I discussed it already. New business. Do you all have that letter for the new transmission, information regarding the transmission? I don't know if this is a new company or maybe Councilman Edie Densley and Smallwood, y'all might be familiar with it.
I haven't read this one that you may be talking about, but it's a standard procedure. Typically when Georgia Power or somebody is doing a high-powered line, they just let everybody know what's going on in the area where it's taking place. And I'm assuming that's what it is, maybe.
Okay, I'd just like to read it to you if you all would have a listening ear. It says, the power supply in every Georgia community depends on the strength of the statewide electric grid, a network for high voltage power lines and substations. In addition to providing reliable power to our homes and local businesses, Georgia's strong grid also helps our state attract new investments and spur economic growth. The enclosed information explains how Georgia Transmission builds and maintains this infrastructure to continually fortify the state's electric grid. I've also noted below an example of ways we ensure the electric membership cooperatives, EMCs, in your community are able to distribute affordable, reliable power. Bullet point, collaborating with other electric utilities in Georgia. Says for nearly 40 years, Georgia's electric utilities have jointly planned and operated more than 17,500 miles of transmission lines and substations. This unique partnership, known as the Integrated Transmission System, estimates costly duplication resulting in lower electric bills for you. Second bullet point, improving the grid through technological innovations. One example of how we innovate to better maintain the grid is the use of LIDAR, light detection and ranging technology to assess the integrity of transmission lines from helicopters. Bullet point number 3, ensuring the grid's security. We routinely evaluate the security of Georgia's electric infrastructure and deploy necessary measures to protect against outages from physical and cyber attacks. In addition, we comply with industry efforts to enhance grid security, including new national standards to protect the grid. If you would like more information about how we maintain a strong, reliable electric grid, please do not hesitate to contact me. And this is sincerely Tom Harkins, Vice President of External Affairs and Member Relations with the Georgia Transmission Corporation. Are y'all familiar with them?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you all dealt business with them prior to our coming aboard?
Just mostly information only. They take care of all of their own business without the city having any input in it.
Is there anything anyone would like to discuss about this? Or more information, or should we? If you care to look into it, it's available. copy.
I'll take this one.
You can keep it. I'll make a copy and present it to
Okay.
you.
You want me to just keep the original then? Okay, fine.
You can keep that. Okay. All right. With that being said, I also wanted to interject, you all excuse me, that we know that plans are underway for travel to a training in Savannah, Georgia, coming June. So we'd like to go ahead and prepare for that, and the clerk has provided us with all the information. Have you all had yours and had time to look it over? Okay, all right. With that being said, I don't have anything else on the new business. We will now exit out of the old business. I'm sorry, the new business. Now we'll move further to committee reports. Is Mr. Bruce Daniel here?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have anything to report? Mr.
I
Daniel?
will show you the brochure we have for the Easter egg hunt. And that we're sending out to all the stores and all the churches. Information. This is the Easter egg hunt. We're going to send this information out to all our churches, local churches, our businesses, and put them up. Hopefully have a great day.
And be sure to utilize the media.
We certainly will. And just to let you know, we're going to plant 3 trees tomorrow at 2 o'clock at the Gordon Park over here. And
What
we've
time
got,
is that?
ma'am,
What time is that?
2 p.m.
Okay.
And those are certificates we're going to pass out with the trees we plant tomorrow. And just want to let y'all know that's going on. If y'all available at 2 o'clock to plant some trees.
And also, I've got some there in the office. Could I possibly give you some? Or
Okay,
if you don't mind, they're dogwood.
we'll put them somewhere. Okay, and we're going to,
This is nice.
yeah.
Have y'all seen it? They pass it down. Okay. So I see that Easter eggs over ages 7 through 12.
Yeah, that's what we've normally done, and it's sort of uncontrollable when you get that age group anyway. It's, so we found that's the best way to do it, separating those age groups right there. Making a Gordon Park, walking track, the walking track, toward the back of the park, if y'all want to see these right here. Can't see yours, you can see the rest of them.
I don't understand.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's
Looks
what we want to
good.
do in that.
All right, our next order, fire. Do you have anything for fire?
No, ma'am, just remind everyone, please be careful as the weather changes, people start getting out, wanting to build fires outside, just be careful with them. Call the forest and let us know if you're gonna burn.
But that is property now. What about, regular, household?
Well, the only thing you supposed to ever burn is grass clippings and, anything like limbs and weeds and things like that. It's nothing else supposed to be able to burn, except just regular things like that, You're still supposed to call in and get a number from the forestry unit, let them know where and when. They inform us most of the time.
Thank you so much. Next, we have police.
I have nothing to report.
All right, police. Streets.
I went down to police station to talk with my Chief Hall. He was not there that day. So I need to go back and see what assistance he can give us from about keeping the city clean especially our downtown area. And, our citizens need to be, we need to keep reminding the citizens to be careful about throwing trash, because if you're caught, you should be fined for this. So to help clean our city, let's, stop throwing trash out on the streets.
Anything else?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Council, that's all I have, and we've heard, we don't have a liaison report on water and sewage, and hopefully we'll be getting some to that. So, I don't have anything else we like to say.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Second. All in favor? All the